Welcome to our Life as Medicine Way open house for the 2026 cohort. It is such an honor to be here sharing about this work with you all today. I am so grateful also to have beloved Carla here with us. Carla completed the Life as Medicine Way program a couple years ago, and then last year she joined us in the whole journey. Supporting and being an amazing assistant to all of us and helping the community in so many ways. Thank you so much for all your beautiful contributions and for being here today. Um, yeah, I'm so excited to meet all of you that are interested in potentially joining us. Today, I'm going to share with you a slideshow because I figured it'd be easier to just go through all the material that way. I know I'm personally very visual, so sometimes just having those slides and seeing it written can help me remember things better. And then at the end, we're going to have Q&As, to answer your questions. The idea is to give you, a good picture of what the program is about, what you'll gain from the program, and what are the opportunities in terms of scholarship and payment options and such. So let's get started. There. Okay, so let's wait till I can present. All right, so welcome to Life is Medicine Way 2026 cohort open house. First, I'd like to introduce a little bit about Plant Spirit Talk. Make sure you can all hear me, and also if you could mute if you haven't yet. Great. So I want to share with you about Plant Spirit Talk, which is really where it all started. Plant Spirit Talk has been a home for these classes, for journeys to the Amazon, to the Andes, for all of this work that we've been doing around plant spirit medicine. I'm the founder of Plant Spirit Talk, and this is a little bit of our mission, so I really see us as a community of plant-loving healers, educators, and therapists who practice deep listening and learning from nature, from Pachamama. Also the spirit world, and also in our own intuition, we cultivate harmony, healing, growth, and liberation for ourselves and our communities. Honoring the wisdom and teachings shared by our indigenous mentors from the Amazon and the Andes, integrating ancestral and folk practices to heal from individual and collective trauma through intentional time with plants, elements, and the land. We realign our sacred purpose as stewards of the earth and bearers of her wisdom. And so this is very much like, in a nutshell, what Plant Spirit Talk is about, and in a big way, what Life as Medicine Way is about. I consider Life as Medicine Way as an initiatory journey because throughout the program, you are going to be initiating many different relationships with plants, with earth spirits, with the ancestors, and ultimately initiating into your own medicine. So here's little glimpses that you'll see throughout the slideshow here of our 2025 cohort. A little bit about me. So yeah, my name is Francisca Santibanez. And I started this journey in terms of working with plants as a clinical herbalist and wellness guide. I graduated from the Berkeley Herbal Center back in 2013, and then I taught there for many years, and I served as student services coordinator, and I'm still very much a part of the Berkeley Herbal Center. However, through my work with the plants there, while I was studying plants to do sort of like the more clinical work of Western herbalism, I started to receive these transmissions. The plants started to talk to me. And they started to lead me back home. And for me, home, well, it's a big subject what home is, but my roots are in South America, and I'm here right now. I'm in this call from Brazil currently. Um, and so while studying in Berkeley, I was led to come back to South America via Peru to study the plants and to get to know more of the traditional folk ways of working with plants as sentient beings, working with their spirit medicine, understanding that it takes a lot, like there's so much more to the healing process than just taking dosages of medicine, that it's actually a relational process of learning from a teacher. These plants come and teach us so much about what it means to be embodied in this earth and what it means to cultivate harmony within our relationships. And all of these things, like I got to learn from returning home, back home to South America, again, studying through the Amazonian lineages in Peru. I have studied with several different mestizo Quechua lineages, also from northern Amazon, from the Emberá, and most recently, for the past let's see, almost 7 years since 2018. Actually 2016, I met my current teacher, Amelia Panduro, the Sinuiri. Ronin Wano is her name in Shipibo, who has been my maestra since, again, I met her in 2016, started to work with her more in depth in 2018. And she's the one that really initiated me in this path of working with plants as teachers and learning their language and learning like what it takes to prepare ourselves to have this in-depth experiences with the plants, and ultimately not just with plants, but with the spirit realm, with the earth, with our ancestors, with all of our sacred council, which we'll talk more about. You know, all of the spiritual beings that support us and open up the path for us as we get to do our work and share our purpose and such. So here's us at the Kiva. So, about the Life as Medicine Way cohort, this is our foundational program. So, for people, when I've had many people that come and want to learn from me, wants to learn this work, and I offer many different pathways, I guess, to work with me. One of them is one-on-one individual. Um, I have also more advanced cohorts of apprenticeship and also now clinical this coming year. But ultimately, like we start with this course, and this is where I offer you the most amount of my knowledge. I kind of offer it all up to you, you know, everything from all of my apprenticeships with both human and plant and ancestors, everything that I have learned since I started this healing journey. And this next year, the cohort is going to be 7 months, and it's going to be mostly online. We have 24 online sessions, and then we have 3 day-long in-person garden gatherings, and we have one overnight, which is 2 day in-person camping gathering that happens in June, and I'll share more about those dates and what those themes will be. Ultimately, this course is about embracing our life, our lifestyle, our life experiences as our teachers, and being able to integrate all of the goodness, the wisdom that we have received from that so we can apply it to have those as our resources and as our strength, as our medicine. You know, so it's very much about an alchemy of the soul, of our paths. And the way we do that is through these initiations with plants and also through what, what I share from the Andean Amazonian wisdom codes, which are a beautiful set of initiatory codes or pillars that share with us, that teach us how to ultimately reach a place of sacred reciprocity and mutuality, whether it be relating with plants, relating to the earth, or relating with each other, with our families, with our partners, with, our patients, or whoever it is. It's like there are certain initiatory lessons that are here for us to really receive and and learn from, strengthen our spirit from. And we go through those throughout the course, and they're all kind of interwoven. So it's not like I'm just giving you a module that is Andean codes that we take like for 5 weeks just doing that. It's all kind of woven, like there's plant medicine work, and then there's Andean Amazonian wisdom, and then there might be some medicine medicine spirit initiation work that is all kind of interwoven throughout the whole year. And I'll show you the syllabus so you can see that too. Um, let's see. Here again is another picture of our kiva, and I don't know if you all know, but kivas are these temples that are throughout the world, like everywhere from the four corners in the States to places in Bolivia, Peru, and I think many other continents too, where they create these temples that are into the earth, where you actually have to go down some steps or you have to go into the earth to place offerings and to do ceremony. And I was lucky enough at the place where I live, which is a beautiful, beautiful piece of land that is 15 acres in Sonoma County, California. I was lucky enough that this opportunity came for us to create a kiva there and to do our work there within the earth. So this is where we gather for our in-person gatherings. So I want to share with you a little bit about the wisdom pillars or the different modalities or lineages that we weave in. As I shared with you, like my foundation in some ways of where I started is with herbalism, Western herbalism. And so there is certainly going to be a little bit of that, but very much strongly into plant spirit medicine, folk herbalism and medicine, especially like South American folk medicine, is a big focus of mine. I really love folk medicine. To me, folk medicine is medicine of the people, is the kind of medicine that is accessible to everyone, is the medicine that we work with what we have, like whether it's from the kitchen pantry or our front yards, wherever, whatever ingredients we have, we make do and we create healing from that. And so it's very practical, and I love to share some of those therapies. Definitely talk a lot about Andean Amazonian cosmology, shamanic practice that again is it's very much along the same lines with the folk herbalism and ancestral healing, which it has been a major part of my journey and what I feel is one of the gifts of plant spirit medicine. Um, yeah, I feel like I have yet to meet someone who hasn't been in some way uh, just kind of ushered or invited to hold ancestral healing once working with plant spirit medicine. I feel like they go hand in hand, and we go deep into that. And then also some different contemporary earth-based wisdom that may be related to like boundary work, or how to work actually with some of these pillars from Andean Amazonian cosmology in a more practical and in some ways more modern ways. So, what do you get from this journey? These are sort of like the key. What? I would call like deliverables, of like what you'll walk away with from this journey. I think for me, like my intention for this is that you will walk away feeling a lot more confident about your own medicine, knowing that um, you have something that is really unique and yours, um, and really precisely and sacredly placed, for you to share. And we do this by exploring what that is, and again going through all of these other smaller initiations, ultimately leading to your own medicine spirit initiation. We also, like I mentioned, train you in South American folk healing therapies, from limpiezas to shamanic perfumery and ancestral healing practices to soul retrieval. Reconnection with ancestral wisdom for harmonious living. To me, this is a really important piece. One of the things that I really appreciate and love and cherish about our cohorts is the diversity of our groups. We have a huge like variety of participants of many different groups, both age groups and ethnicities, and just all across the board. It's a very diverse group, and everybody brings something super unique, which is part of it is their ancestral lineage and the ancestral wisdom that they hold. And so within this container, my intention is for you to also get to really step into that. Like, what are those gifts that you inherited? What are those that medicine, those recipes, those songs, those whatever it is that you can start to find, because it is so beautiful, and it's a gift that you have that we all get to carry. And not all of us have been initiated by our lineages. I certainly wasn't. I had to find my way to really learn about who I am and where I'm from, and reclaim a lot of that. And it's been a really beautiful journey. And I believe that that journey is here for all of us to really claim and reconnect, with our ancestral inheritances, no matter where we come from. Um, our sacred agreements and purposeful living. Um, I love doing contract work, and and that is working with like sacred contracts. Part of the ancestral healing work for me is working with the sacred agreements. And so really observing and studying, learning, like, what were you born into? What did you get within this iteration, of you within this body that holds so much information and wisdom and challenges, and it's the whole thing, right? So we get to really study what is here for us, what is ours to do, what is not ours to do, what are things that we can quickly kind of like release and transform, and also some other pieces that are our core teachers that we get to understand how to meet them over and over again, the lessons that may come from those core teachers. Um, so we get to do some of that, and do plant spirit healing practices. The initiations with plants happen at your own rhythm, so we have, besides the meetings that we do weekly and our garden gatherings, like the initiations are going to be the work that you get to do at home and on your own, kind of like applying this knowledge into your life. And you get to do those at your own pace. And I'll talk more about some different options that are part of the perks, which is you can either join our community initiation hive, medicine initiation hive, which is a separate program that you get full access when you join Life as Medicine Way. So for the next year, you get to join any of those community initiations for free for you. This is part of what you get. And so you can do those initiations along with the group and do the check-ins, weekly check-ins with the group and everything. Each initiation lasts about a month. And then another really amazing perk that you will get as part of this next year that is super unique and is the first time that we're having this is that you'll get to receive support from our clinic, which is going to be happening next year for the first time. We have a group of folks that have been apprenticing with me and doing all of their own initiations and studying facilitation. And you'll get to have support for one of your initiations with them. And that means that you'll get to have like five sessions, one-on-one sessions, like 45-minute long, and really receiving guidance and support as you initiate with your plant medicines. So that is happening. And then lastly, like facilitating ritual space. And this is something that you'll see. I mean, it's definitely been a transition that I've had to learn from going from in person to online. And that transition happened during the pandemic before I was very resistant to doing online work. But I had to learn. I surrendered and I learned, and I'm very grateful because it also has allowed us to have a much wider reach. And we've had participants from other countries, from across the country, from like just, it's been beautiful to be able to do this work online. And even though we are meeting the majority of the time online, we do bring a lot of ritual into each of the sessions. And we even have rituals within rituals, so you'll definitely get to learn a lot about both participating as well as putting together a ritual and facilitating. So that is all part of the journey. Here is the garden. I'm doing an herb walk. And so, what do our
Yeah,
online sessions? Yes?
just one moment. The slides are advancing slowly, so um, it,
Okay.
so I'm guessing there was a slide after the herb walk, but if you can give it a moment for folks to, or at least
Yeah.
that's the case for me. I'm not sure about for everyone else.
Let me know when you see online sessions flow in your screen.
So I don't see it yet, but I'll just talk for a moment
Thank
and
you.
say that I'm like I've lived through life as medicine way twice now, and I feel okay now the photo of folks is up. I like hearing about it. I feel really emotional. Just again, like I said, I've lived through it. It's been 2 years now, but there's so much in these programs, and it's really special what you're bringing to the world.
Thank you, Carla. It's been so sweet to have you with us, and I feel extremely privileged and honored to get to support and hold this space and get to witness so many people really starting their journeys, with their medicines or advancing in their journey. It's such an honor. And also the formation of community, like these relationships between participants. It's been so beautiful to see just like how that has rippled out and beyond just the spaces that we hold here at Plus Talk, folks getting together and supporting each other, supporting their communities. It's beautiful. So.
It-
Yeah, thank you.
of course,
Um,
yes, it says online session flow.
Perfect. Thank you, and thank you for letting me know that it's doing that. That's the one thing from, that doing this work from Brazil, the internet and even the power is not always very consistent. So, please pardon some of the delays. Um, so online sessions flow. Every session, of course, is unique and different. This is more or less of like the kind of you know, uh, a sample flow, So we start at 6 p.m. And mind you, these are all through Zoom, 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. all of the sessions are recorded, and we do recommend that if you can make it to the live sessions, it's really great, because then you get to participate in some of the practices and check-ins and, just be more part of it. However, if you can't make it to the live session, all of the sessions are recorded and you can always catch up. And always reach out to us if you have any questions from watching the recording. And um, yeah, we also have a message group through Signal where we stay in touch as a group, as a cohort. And I also have like office hours, basically, which is the Green Path consultations that we do, where you can reach out or you can make an appointment with me anytime throughout the time of the cohort. So, um, so a sample online session will look like at 6 a.m. At 6 p.m. we start with a meditation. And usually I try to bring in concepts from the last session that we had, or start to weave in some of the concepts that we'll be going over for that session. Um, so then after we do that, and it's really helpful to do this to kind of get us all in sync and to make the transition from doing whatever it is that we were all doing outside of the space to come together and start the session together. Um, Around 6:20, we would have our personal check-ins. And this is something that I must say that, it can be different, or for some people have other opinions about doing these check-ins. What I can tell you is that I've learned over time, and I've been holding space, I've been teaching for the past 12 years, and for me the check-ins are really critical to community, to doing the work, to being able to stay connected, to have a sense of where we are as a group. Part of what we're learning throughout this work is the importance of community and of sacred reciprocity and maintaining these relationships that are critical to our well-being, and especially doing this healing work. Like, I have also a background of working a lot with sacred plant ceremonies, working with ayahuasca and within other ceremonial spaces. And for some people, that work can be very individual and in many ways very isolating. And to me, this work, this life as medicine way, and all of this work, I see this work as integration work and as bringing the ceremony into the day-to-day life. And community is an essential part of it, and doing the check-ins is an essential part of it. So we do that, and it's also really fascinating to see people transform their take on the check-ins, where at first they may be a little bit resistant, like, oh, I don't want to hear, what everybody's doing, or, they see it as not as important or valuable. And then over time, they realize like how potent it is to actually have the consistency of hearing from people and learning from each other. We get to learn so much from one another, so the check-ins is part of that. And then later on, also, we have usually a practice where folks check in too. But after we do our initial check-ins, usually I do like a community updates and announcements, not only for Plant Spirit Talk, which we have community courses and events throughout the year. And so I like to remind folks of that, but we also welcome in your own announcements from your communities and events. And then we have our break, which usually happens around 7:10 or 7:30, midway. And then I'll do a share that can last anywhere from half an hour to an hour, sometimes 45 minutes, depending on what it is. And then we do some kind of integration practice, which may mean that you get to do some journaling, or we split the group up and you'll get to do some kind of work or put something together, you know. So we have some kind of practice to bring that wisdom down, you know, and to really kind of hold it and explore it ourselves individually. And then we have a share of our experiences and we close at 9. So that's roughly how your Thursday night might look. Um, and one more thing I want to say, you know, we have people that can't always make it on time to our sessions, and I personally leave it really open for you to join whenever you can. You know, I'd rather you come in late than not come in at all if you can make it, you know, so just know that the door is always open for you to come into a session with us. Okay, let me know if you see the in-person garden gathering slide. Can I get a thumbs up when you do, or?
Yeah, we don't see it yet, but I'll say about these check-ins. I'm just thinking of the person this last year who would be getting off of work and like stay for the meditation and check in and then have their commute home. So there would be a pot, they'd leave and then come back and join us. And so that like I think also underscores like how important it was for them to be there for the check-in, to hear from peers, to hear the lovely grounding meditation from you, which is different every time, and um, and then take care of themselves and rejoin. And and it was always great for them to do that and be with us as that made sense.
Yes, thank you, Carla. Absolutely. Yeah, part of it for me, I can tell you, is that I started doing this work with a toddler. I mean, my son is now 17 years old, but I went to herb school when he was like 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. And I feel so grateful and blessed and just lucky that my teachers and the school was so understanding of my situation and knew that I couldn't always be there on time and that things just happen as a single mom, you know, raising my kiddo. And ever since that, like I really learned like the importance of giving grace, you know, understanding that people are coming from all different situations and to leave the door open for you to participate as you can and when you can. So, can you all see the in-person garden gathering slide? Yes, beautiful. Great. So our in-person garden gatherings, again, the course, this originally started all in person, and so I love doing this work in person, and I also know that it's not always feasible, especially if you don't live in California or in that area, the Bay Area or Sonoma County, you know. So we have basically 4 gatherings throughout the program. And if you could at least make it to one, I think you would really get a lot from just with the community, with your peers, and also receiving from the land and getting to practice some of these rituals in person. It's really, really beautiful. Um, we start like 3 weeks in with our first in-person gathering in April 25th. And the first thing we do is our cleansing rituals, the limpia rituals. And the whole session is dedicated to different ways of cleansing, you know, based again on the South American folk healing. Um, then we have our overnight retreat, which happens mid-June, like on the 13th and 14th of June. And that retreat is dedicated to the other part of the cleansing rituals, which, you know, when we cleanse, we let go and release what is not us, what is the excess, all the things that are not us, basically. And then the soul flowering piece is working with flowers, working with herbs to sweeten our bodies so that our spirit can come home fully. So the soul flowering itself is like these are soul retrieval practices, really beautiful, everything from perfumery to flower baths, flower showers, and working with flower essences, like lots of flowers. And it's one of the reasons why we do it in June. And the land is really in full bloom during that time. It's really such a treat to be able to do this then. Um, then in August, we have our Nourishing Pachamama retreat, our day long, which August is Pachamama month in the Andes, which is why we do this then. And it's a time where we pay or nourish the land with different rituals that ensure that the land knows that she's loved and that we are maintaining balance and harmony through sacred reciprocity. And so, of course, it's not only August that you can do this or that you should do this, but we learn those rituals then. And then our last gathering happens October 24th, which is our closing session. And we have presentations, our graduation and closing ceremony. And that is a really, really special day too. Um, it is a big part of the integration of this work. Like we start out with like the limpia rituals, which is preparing us for the more in-depth work of initiation with the plants. And then we close out the journey with the presentations, which is looking back at the whole journey and putting together an offering for the community, whether it be a ritual or sharing a story, creating a kit, whatever it is that really embodies your experience of this journey. So it's one of my favorite. I mean, they're all my favorites, but it's so beautiful to get to hear from everybody and see, like everybody's on their own paths with this work. Super unique, um, but also, of course, a shared experience. So, um, here is another. I don't know if y'all can see these slides. This is a picture of the bathhouse, which is one of the things, another area that we have there in Sebastopol. And this area is dedicated to the flower and the soul flower, the florecimiento treatments that we'll all get to do, including making these herbal baths, which is what you see here in this picture. So here is an overview of the syllabus. And, I would say that for the most part, we stick to this probably like 90 to 95%, There may be some shifts just from circumstances and things that come up, but for the most part, we stick with the flow. And it's, as I mentioned, it's a weaving, like we bring in the different modalities and kind of braid them together. We start out with the cosmovision of the Andean Amazonian cosmovision that kind of gives us a foundation for this work. The Good and Beautiful Way is about learning how to live harmoniously with one another. And so that kind of sets us up for all of the other work that we get to do. We also get to learn some of the Andean practices of mesa work, which is it's a, the mesa is like an altar. Mesa translates to table, and it's an altar that you get to bring with you that carries energetically. It's like a portal where you get to both land, like let your spirit and yourself land onto the earth and claim your belonging to the earth, and then also claim what you're bringing into your field and what you're releasing from your field. And so it's a way to manage and to work with energy and spirit, including the spirit of the plants and the ancestors, all those things. So we bring that in. We get to practice that both online and also in person. We have our plant spirit initiations and the diets, that we go over, and um, the introduction to sacred agreements. As I mentioned, the way that I have been holding ancestral work has been through contract work. I used to teach a class that was called Earth, Blood, and Soul, which uh, basically held these different agreements that we have first with the earth coming in, like for our souls to come into this earth body and working with the spirits of the earth and our earthly ancestors. And then doing the work of our soul work, and understanding our lineage with our blood, and then the bigger picture of our soul's journey. So we'll go through all of that throughout our sessions, and but you can see here just as an overview of all the other types of classes that we have. As I mentioned, we talk about boundaries and standards. Templify, which is a whole other part of the work that has to do. I mean, it's all interconnected and related, but Templify has to do on how do we make like tend to the temples in our lives. Um, Healing and growing, understanding like the medicine of renegotiation. Again, it's lots of different things. Part of what you'll find with this work is that there's lots of different entryways, and that's what I like to offer you. You can see them as little doors, or you can even see them as little seeds that I'm just going to be giving you, and you get to decide when you want to grow them or when you want to step through that door and go deeper. So it's really, I know everybody's in a different place. For some folks, it's all maybe completely new material and new, concepts. And for some other folks, this may be, something that they've been working on for a while and have an understanding, or, they may have dedicated the past 15 years to ancestral work. And, so it's who knows. This course is open and is meant to meet you exactly where you're at. So here's another view of our Kiva. Okay, let me know when you can see the perks page. Yes, wonderful. So these are some of the bonuses, the perks that you get as being part of Life as Medicine Way. You'll get discounts to different classes outside of this class. So we offer a lot of community classes throughout the year that are taught by Plant Spirit Talk, our Life as Medicine Way alumni. Everything from dream work to embodied practice, all kinds of beautiful classes. Every year they're a little bit different, and you can access those at 20% off. Also, events. We have our big gathering that happens in September, which is the Wisdom Exchange Confluence. And so you get 20% of that too. You get full access to our hive, um, which is a whole year, which means 4 initiations, one per season of being a part of the online hive. And with that, you get 20% off of the plant spirit initiation kits. Like if you wanted to get a box with all the plants already for that initiation, we have those and you can get them at 20% off. And then you also get this beautiful new perk. So excited for this clinic work that you get to do. You get to work one-on-one with one of our clinicians for a whole initiation. So that's a whole month of working weekly with one of our facilitators that have done this work already, have gone through all of their initiations, and can really support you and guide you more in depth of your unique path with the medicine that you are working with. Here is another picture of medicine making, the garden. Okay, so early bird special. I want to show about this here, and then we're going to talk about scholarships, and then we're going to do the Q&As. So, early bird special, this is something that we have going on up until December 31st. So, our tuition price up until December 31st is 5,950. After January 1st, it goes up by $500 to 6,450. Now, you can save anywhere from 500 to 750 when you enroll by the 31st. We have 12-month payment plans available that with the deduction of your deposit, of your $100 deposit, comes to about $487 a month. Or if you want to save an extra $250, you can pay in one full payment, the 5,600 when paid in full. So this is available up until December 31st. Really important is that you have to enroll in the payment plan by well, we have to receive your application by the 31st, and you have to enroll on the payment plan by no later than January 7th. So that's something to keep in mind. And then I want to talk about scholarships, BIPOC scholarship opportunities. So we have a limited number of BIPOC scholarships that are funded by the Plant Spirit Talk BIPOC Love Fund that are available to cover up to 50% of tuition cost for our 2026 cohort. And so we have these steps to the application process that are really important to follow. First is the deposit. You know, we do have that $100 deposit that lets us know that you're serious about this. Because we have, especially because we have a limited number of seats for the class and for the scholarship, it's really important that we also see that you're already investing, even if it's, like $100 just for this. And of course, if you if you're not accepted or if you change your mind by I think it's a month before, so I think it's like March 4th. You have up until March 4th to change your mind and to receive a full refund, So you will get that refund and that $100 if you do stay with the program, it goes towards tuition. So it's really important that you turn that in with the application. Once we receive that, then we will send you another application, which is to learn a little bit more about your specific needs for the scholarship. So like I said, we have the scholarship covers up to 50% of the cost. Um, we have a limited amount of funds available, which is why we ask folks like how much help do you actually need, because maybe you just need a little bit of help. Maybe it's like 25% or something like that. But for some other ones, from other folks, it may be that you need the full 50% off. And so you get to share more about your particular circumstances. And then once you are accepted, you will receive another email from us with links to the actual enrollment. And in that, you will get the enrollment options of either paying it in full or enrolling in the payment plans or with the scholarship. So it's kind of like a three-step enrollment, um, yeah, path that we have to take. And let's see, I think that may be it. I think we might be ready for Q&As. And I think I'm going to stop sharing here so I can go back and see your faces. Here we go. Hello. Beautiful. How are y'all doing? I know that was a lot. Any questions that I can help to clarify? Any additions that you want to share, Carla, or anything you think that folks should know that I didn't share?
Um, I'll just say this morning I was reflecting on when you opened the program up a couple years ago and I applied, and like it was just such a rush. I remember I was in Spain. I was like, yes, finally. And then it was like, what did I just sign up for? Like, I don't entirely understand, but I'd been recommended to you and Plant Spirit Talk by someone I know and trust, and was just like, all right, I'm here. And absolutely, like, one of the top investments in time, energy, money that I've made in my life, and continue here as an apprentice and a clinic member and um, retreat participant, like all the things. What's next, Francisca? So really happy to be here. And yeah, I look forward to folks' questions and comments. And if there's anything that you have for me as a alumni of the program, I'm available to respond.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carla. Yes, we're here. We're here to answer your questions. And if you want to chat a little bit more about your particular circumstances to see more if it's like a one-on, if it's the right fit for you, we have those discovery sessions, like calls available. I have a lot of flexibility over the next couple months. So please feel free to schedule yourself. There is a link right on the website for you to schedule a time that works for you. And I'd be so happy to sit down and talk with you and hear about your journey and yeah, and see if it's the right next step for you, for us. Anything else? Alrighty, my dears. If there aren't any questions, then we're going to close our session. You will receive, I'm going to be sending this out to everybody that was interested and that signed up for this. And again, I'll share with you the discovery call information so you can reach out. But I very much look forward to the opportunity of sharing this space with you. And yeah, April is not that far away. We have three months, a little bit over 3 months before we start. So there still is a little bit of time, and again, happy to explore with you more if it's the right thing for you. Thank you, everybody, for taking time on this Sunday. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care, everyone.